Okay, all right. So we're working on our Tai Chi foundation. We're going to try to move in time, breathe in time, coordinate breath and motion. We rise up. The hands don't go much higher than the shoulders. The elbows stay lower than the shoulders. So the idea here is we don't want to flex the delts, okay? We want to keep the shoulders completely supple. How do we do it? We push the big toe. Now we bend the knees. Yep. Using the thighs. You'll notice that old age moves into the lower body first. You know, you kind of feel it. The lower body gets stiffer. It gets harder to get up and down. You become less stable. So this motion of pushing the big toe, rocking into the heels and bending the legs just a little bit forces us to engage all those muscles in the lower body, which are imperative for mobility and stability. So we constantly fill the muscle, putting a little pressure on the connective tissue, the tendons, stabilizing the ligaments. Just the act of going up and down every day, a little bit, keeps everything engaged. So you really want to watch the belly button, not the arms. Is the waist rising and sinking? This is built on the three harmonies of foot, waist, and arm. So I transfer to the ball of the foot and I rise, then the arms. Heels, sink the waist, sink the arms. Ball of the foot, lift the waist, lift the arms. Heels, sink the waist, sink the arms. There you go. And you'll notice there's like a chain reaction that happens. Very good. Your body should kind of flow like a banner in the wind. As we age, we become more like we ratchet. We start to look like a robot. So we want to be supple, smooth, graceful. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Be sure to keep that waist going. When we watch people do Tai Chi as, master instructors, we don't watch their hands. We watch their waist. Because everyone tries to baffle you with their hands. Inhaling, exhaling, rising, and sinking. All right. So the root of a lot of the Tai Chi is holding a ball, taking your pulse, pressing with the shoulder, the elbow, and the wrist. In Tai Chi, there's 8 main, let's say it's like music, that's the octave. 8. So the first 3 notes are really the shoulder, the elbow, and the wrist. Does that make any sense? So let's give it a try. If we hold the ball with our right hand on top and we take the pulse, if I bump first with my shoulder, then I lead through with the elbow, and then I arrive at the wrist, there's 3 points of contact right there, 3 notes. It's a little tetrachord, right? So we hold the ball, left hand on top, take the right pulse. Now, come in with the shoulder, 1, the elbow, 2, the wrist, 3. Turn the wagon wheel to hold the ball. Take your pulse. Come in with the shoulder, the elbow, and the wrist. Turn the wheel. And lead with the shoulder, the elbow, and the wrist. Holding the ball. Lead. Strong as a mountain. Coming through. And if you look at it, they use a thing called the I Ching to describe this. Where there's a mountain, there's always a canyon, and in the bottom of the canyon, there's water. So it kind of creates this process. One phenomenon leads to the next. So if you wanted to have the natural power, all 3, the mountain, the canyon, and the water, will show up. So that's why they call the shoulder a mountain, very stable. The elbow, the canyon, and the wrist pressing the water. Holding the ball, pressing. Holding the ball, taking the pulse, leading with the shoulder, the elbow, and the wrist. Inhale. Exhale. So right out of the gate here, we're employing 3 of the key notes, techniques, elements out of 8. Your Tai Chi practice will be comprised of simply 8 notes. Push off the blue wall, turn the waist, and the arms will follow. Sink into your right leg, push off, turn the waist, and the arms will follow. And this is going to teach you how to move your whole body as opposed to just your arms. Because again, as we age, we become frail. So we want to learn how to move. We still need to literally throw our weight around. So you use your whole body. Shoulders are relaxed. The thighs are engaged. Leading the heat to the feet. Inhaling. Exhaling. Okay, so that's really one of the key moves. From that, we could build. So we hold this ball, We take our pulse, just like before. Again, we lead with the shoulder, the elbow, but this time we separate. This is called shearing the horse's mane. If we keep the hands here, it's grasping a large bird's tail. This one, we'll look at the palm. Hold the ball, take your pulse. Lead with the shoulder, the elbow. Now, the bottom hand comes towards your belly button. The top hand is about chin high. Hold the ball, take your pulse. Lead, again, with the hip, the shoulder, the elbow, but then separate. Hold the ball, take your pulse. Come across. Now drop that left hand so the thumb points at the belly button. Hold the ball, take your pulse, then come across. Hold the ball, take your pulse, pushing off that left leg, leading with the shoulder, then separating. Holding the ball. So always bringing in the mountain and the valley there, and then finally, in this case, the thunder, the splitting. Leading and separating. Hold the ball, take your pulse. Hold the ball, take your pulse. Shift, push off the left leg, lead, and come across. Hold the ball, take your pulse. Push off the right, lead. Holding a ball, taking the pulse. Gathering. Pressing. Holding a ball. Press. And separate. Inhaling. Exhaling. Inhaling. Exhaling. Holding a ball, taking the pulse. Splitting. Holding a ball, taking the pulse. Splitting. Otherwise known as shearing the horse's mane, like you're cutting the mane off of a horse. We do that a lot nowadays. We don't, but that's what they called it. I like to call it throwing a frisbee. It's kind of like, here you are, it's the early 70s, you've got your tie-dye shirt on, your Wham-O frisbee. Okay, the next one we're going to work on, today we're going to focus on feet, all right? So creating a substantial and insubstantial post or yin-yang foot. As we age, we shuffle. We don't really hold our weight deliberately on any one leg at a time, unless, of course, we have to. And then if the strength isn't there, the structure collapses. So we don't want that, right? So this is what we're going to do. Shift all your weight to your right leg. Lift your left heel. Piece of cake. Then lightly touch the tip of the toe on the ground like you're touching really hot water. Then bring it back. Notice how this heel's still up. Now when I drop, I lift. So now I'm only going to have one heel on the ground at a time. Dot, shift. Lift the foot up, knee high. Touch the ground with the tip of the toe. No weight. Dot, shift. Bend in, sink. Lift the foot up and touch like it's really hot water and you're testing it. It's called an empty stance because the foot is empty. It looks simple, but it's not that simple. Dot, shift. Dot, shift. Dot, shift. Lift, touch. It's like a little Irish jig. You're going to put your left toe in, then you're going to take your left toe out. Come on. We're doing the hokey pokey. Yeah, we're going to shake it all about. You know? Really? But it's true. We have to, it's like these silly little skills, yeah, that you didn't even think about when you were a kid. Now you're all eyebrows down and really struggling to figure it out. What the hell happened? So, toe, now shift the heels. Boom, nice. Root, stabilize, and touch. Good. Dot, shift, boom. Root, stabilize, and touch. Dot, shift. See how I sink a little bit? Rooting. And then, because you don't want to move the leg until you're stable. Then you lift. Then you touch. Shift. Stabilize it. And touch. Dot, shift, sink, touch. Yep. Looks so silly and simple, doesn't it? But you're going to use this so much when we do our Tai Chi. This is an imperative skill because we're going to need to have this empty stance. Just the tip of the big toe. Another good skill is when you go home, of course. Take a little salad bowl, okay? Fill it with water. Put it on the top of your head and do this. Yeah, we used to do it in the shower. Right? There you go. And then do your meridian bathing and act like you meant it. That's right. Right. Put your Dr. Bronner's or whatever in there. Do a few. We used to use calligraphy ink. Yeah, that was, and our little silly robes underneath the blue were white. So there was no, coming home from that one. But that keeps your eyes, you know what I mean, kind of stable. Yeah, there you go. And this is picking back up the stability, mobility, and grace. We don't want to just toddle through life for the last decade, right? Or 50 years. I'll be like, okay. But the average person spends the last 20 years of their life just dying, toddling around. So you can kind of reverse that. Mobility, stability, and grace. All right, since we mastered that, let's try another one. This time, we're going to put all our weight. We're going to dot. We're going to lift our heel up, but then we're just going to slowly set the heel down. That's called the 7-star stance. We'll use that a lot when we do our Tai Chi, okay? Let's just focus on the feet. Lift the heel, then set it down like really, really lightly. No weight on it. So you're testing the thin ice. Okay, so you come up, and then you lightly, notice how I'm pulling the big toe back? Pull it back. Yeah, there's little muscles in the front of your shins that you probably never developed that are actually there. And by pulling my toe back, I'm going to stop the floppy fish foot. When you drag your toe around and that catches a little curb, lifting the heel, touch the knee, then sink the heel down and pull those toes back so you really feel the calf flex. I come up, like sink. I know it's a party. Do the best you can. It's good to have feet that work because truly your wealth is defined by your stability and your mobility. Because you can have a gajillion dollars, but if you can't move around and enjoy it, you know, you're still broke. Dot, lift, heel up, foot out, and sink it down. Yep. Shift. No, we're not going to have 2 heels on the ground at any given time, okay? With this exercise. Boom. Yes. Lift, reach, and sink. Good. Dot, shift. Dot, knee. No weight on the front leg. I know, it's not even, you wouldn't even think about it if you see someone doing it. You're like, yeah, whatever, that's a Monty Python silly walk. But it's not. It's pull those toes back so we flex the shin. We want all the little muscles in our feet to be sore, like you did something. Because you can go to the gym and look for the little foot muscle machine all day. You're not going to find it, you know. It's like a Fred Astaire dance studio over here. All right. Pretty good, though. So it's a lot more to be, considered when we do this. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Look up. Set. Excellent effort, everybody. Yeah, well, that's why you're here.